When do you remember, like, okay, something is different with me?
What do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions people have with a person on spectrum?
Was that the reason you were being bullied or so?
When it comes to going to school, how was your experience like going to school?
I realized something, just because results does not define who you are, that only God decides who you are.
Welcome on everybody, back again with another episode of The Talk. Before we start the episode, I usually ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, so please do so and hit the notification bell. Every month, we're trying our best to do something a bit different. So last month, we ended the month with MS. This month, because it's Autism Awareness Month, it's also why you can see us in blue. We decided to, do something. We'll try to do it almost every month. We can't guarantee it, but for these 2 months, we decided to do something special. So today we have with us Mr. Jurgen Leon. Hope I'm saying it right. Hope I'm not butchering your name.
No, you good. No, because there's people who just always say like Jurgen Leon or Jurgen Pandt too, but that's mainly my aunt that always refer to me as Pandt. But Leon is my actual real name. So
Okay, no problem. Sounds good. So you already introduced yourself. So I wanted to just, if you could describe yourself in just a few words, how would you describe yourself?
In a few words?
Yeah.
If I would describe myself in a few words, I would describe myself as intelligent, inspiring somewhat, and I'm strong. Intelligent, inspiring, and strong. Those are mainly my 3 words I will describe myself.
Those are 3 very big words. I would like to know from you because I want to know how is the correct term to go about when you talk to someone with autism. You can say, I don't know, sometimes some people say on the spectrum, some people say autistic. What's the correct word or the correct way to go about speaking to someone that has autism?
Well, if like when you're talking to someone with autism, I mean, like you can either say it as you on the spectrum or autistic, but on the spectrum is more of the correct term. But that basically depends. That basically depends on the level of autism, because there's like 3 levels of it. I think there's high functioning. That's the level where I'm at. That's where I don't need that much of help. I don't know the middle term of it. It's like a balance 50-50, like where you need help sometimes and sometimes you don't. And then there's the bottom one, where the severe one, where you need help 24/7. So
Assistance.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about Jurgen. Who's Jurgen?
Who's me?
Yeah.
I would say that Jurgen is a boy who's trying to become a professional football player. A boy who was born in America, but yet grew up in Statia for so long. So the accent, so you realize the accent is starting to hit a little bit, So, and a boy who just want to inspire the island, and hopefully one day to show everyone that this is where Jurgen came from, like that this is where he started. And to know that the island has someone to rep where they're from.
Yeah. And how was it growing up on Statia?
How was it grow up? Well, I came Statia when I was like 2 years old, 2009. Because I was born in Daytona Beach, Florida, but due to some family circumstances, we had to move here to Statia with the help of my uncle. Then, like when it first started, I lived with my grandmother at first, which to me it was a bit of a 50-50, because you know how my grandmother is, so yeah. And then afterwards, I think like a year or 2, I think we got our first house. Then after that, we used to move a lot because with all the renting being high, and so we couldn't find we couldn't find
Economical.
economical way to live. So we used to move a lot. But living on station, to like, in my opinion, is a peaceful place to be. You know, I like station with the peacefulness, and the people here. I mean, there's half of them that little. but the other half of the station, I like the people here though. The people here, I like their enthusiasm though, and the people here that make me laugh sometimes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. What do you say is something special about Statia?
Like I say, the culture, because Statia was the first place to be saluted by the American flag. I would say the goat meat for sure, because the goat meat real sweet, boy.
Oh, goat meat.
The goat meat, yes. Okay. The goat meat, yeah. Like I ain't talking about the girls, you know, the girls. yeah. For sure, the culture, the goat meat, the history. But the one thing I do like about Statia is the passion they have, though, especially when it comes to football, and the passion that some of these folks have there. I like their passion. I really like their passion for this island. Once they go out and rep the island, they just go and rep the island.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah, when it comes to, because I'm living on stage, when it comes to going to school, how was your experience like going to school?
Well, my the first time going to school, I went to like La Bees, but that was like a
daycare.
Yeah, a daycare team. But my first actual school was Lynch Plantation. Only stayed there for like a year, and the reason I went there was because my cousin, because me and my cousin were close. Me and him were like so. But I always used to get like bullied there. I always get like hurt there. So then afterwards, my mom had to take me out to there and put me in Golden Rock, and that's where the school experience actually got better for me, because Golden Rock, I actually felt like Golden Rock was like a revival for me, because the one thing for sure, I'd always appreciate what Golden Rock School did for me, you know. I'd always appreciate them. Then afterwards, because I became valedictorian for the primary school there. Then afterwards, I went to secondary school, and there it was. Hey, I don't even want to talk about that secondary school, to be honest. You know?
Okay.
But the secondary school was ups and down. But it was ups and down. The downwards is that it was difficult for me to cope with it, because with the primary schools, they just follow like some type of American system, I think. That when they reach the secondary school, they just do CXC or CSEC. And that's where the downfall has happened, because I've seen like a bunch of children who excelled during primary. The ones they reached the secondary school is when it went all downhill for me, because I see children who used to love math. The ones they reach down at that school, they just have a hate for it now.
And why is that? What do you think now?
Hey, listen, back then, we used to have a principal. She always tried to keep the school afloat, even though it was still going down. She used to try, but then afterwards she left, and the other one came in, and
things are different.
It's still a difficult thing. But the one thing for sure, the only positive thing I have for that school was the classmates that I have, because at first I didn't. Well, at first it was a problem for me with my classmates at first, because they didn't know how to communicate with me, or they didn't how put this, they didn't understand me. But then afterwards, say like third, fourth, fifth form is when they started to talk to me, when they started to actually understand me. So then afterwards, I started to create a bond with them. So like I would say, the reason why I kept on going to GV school is because I just wanted to see my classmates, because I know they always that was make me smile, that was gonna put a smile on my face. So that's why I always went.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna take you back a little bit back to your primary. You said you used to be bullied and hurt.
Well, but that was the first school because
Yeah.
in group one because in group one that is when I was used to get bullied. I used to get pushed around. I think there was one time I was shoved in the bathroom one time. So then after
You was what in the bathroom?
like shoved in. I don't know how to
Like push in the bathroom.
Oh, shelved in.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't remember that one. My cousin told me about that part, but
Yeah.
yeah. So then afterwards, my mother decided to just pull me out of Lynch and put me in Golden Rock. And that's where I had the better experience because I had teachers there that understood me. I had teachers that wanted to help me. I even had one teacher. He's from Holland. To me, he was the best teacher, but he was really, really good because he always used to help me out after school. He always used to help me out with like mobility skills, like how to ride a bike, how to balance, because back then I had balancing issues as well. But afterwards, with his help, I was able to control my balance again. Yeah, then afterwards he left sadly. He's in Holland right now, but luckily for him, he's an assistant coach for a football club out there called VV Heino. And right now the club is doing excellent work with him because right now I think the pusher for promotion right now by the time it is recording, I think, but we'll see.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And I see you use the term at, for example, they never used to like understand you. What is, I'm trying to put it in the right way, for a way to it to be a proper sentence. What is there that was different that they had to learn to understand you?
Like what was different?
Like,
Yeah.
for example, was it because of your autism? Well, was it on the spectrum? But did that make it difficult for them to understand you? Where was the difficulty?
I mean, I think it was like the way I handle things, or I think it's mainly because of my speech, because back then I started to develop some stuttering because as you can see, I still have it a little bit, but I'm working on it. But I think back then they're gonna understand me because I just also speak a little too fast, but I also just stuttered a lot. And I think that was mainly the problem of them trying to understand who I was because one time there was with this one incident where they thought I said a bad word and they got told the teacher. So then I got in trouble still, but we was able to work it out. So then I guess they had the problems communicating with me because the way I speak.
Yeah. And the way you speak was that the reason you were being bullied or so?
That I cannot know. I know that was like half of it during the first time, but the second time, I mean, the first half, I really don't know why I was being bullied. To be honest,
Yeah.
I think it's because I was different or something, but I really don't know because back then Lynch, I'ma just say this because I don't want to offend no one who came from Lynch. I just want to say this. I was told that back then Lynch was a soccer church school. Though they told me, I did not say this. They told me this.
A what?
A soccer church school.
A soccer church school?
Yes,
Oh.
because it's a Seventh-day Adventist school,
Yeah.
But them children were like soccer people back then. They were wild. Not like I ain't saying all of them, because the Lynch Expectation School it eased down now. It calmed itself down. But back then, well, fight every day. Fight every day. You can ask my cousin, he's seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I wanted to ask you because I know the thing because of from Paula. Does sound or different things like that affect you?
I mean, back then when I was younger, I couldn't handle loud sounds at all. Like, I would say, especially with because people think I was afraid of balloons. I wasn't afraid of balloons. I was afraid of the popping sound because the popping sound, it irritated me. But then, and also the loud music, and especially when Statia Day comes around and they just fire the cannon, so that set me off because I couldn't handle it at all. So anytime the cannon does go off, I does always try to get out there, like outside of the fort until they was done, because I didn't like the loud sounds. But over the time, the older I grew, the more of the sounds doesn't affect me as much no more. Because also back then my class were loud too, so that's also what affected me. But over time, I started to get used to it because I know some children couldn't handle loud noises, but to me, I was able to adapt to it. Like I would say that, like, because back then, because the thing is though, with the stereotype with autistic people, they always think that they always need the ear, the ear thing,
Yeah.
With me, I don't like the putting on the ear things because it does affect my ears. It does make my ears burn up or something. So I decided to put on like what you call it, earplugs. Earplugs, or I deal with it. Yeah. But over time, I was able to deal with my loud class. So.
Okay. Jurgen, you explained that we kind of jumped to the autism. When do you remember, like, okay, something is different with me?
Well, to be honest, I really don't think there was anything different about me, because I really didn't feel like that I had autism, even though I do have, but there was something inside me that just felt like Jurgen, you are just you. There's nothing wrong with you. That's what I always say to myself. Because I genuinely didn't feel like there was nothing wrong with me. I don't know if that was because of the pride I have, because I know in we family there's a lot of pride, so I don't know if that's one side of me. But also on the other side, I also felt like that there was nothing wrong with me, even though there was something inside me. I know it was the autism, but I felt like that I didn't have any.
But what was that something inside of you? Like you feel?
Like I felt like, to me, I felt like a normal person, even though to me normal doesn't exist.
True.
And
yeah,
that I can't explain that. Only thing that I know is that I'm different from the rest of the autism people, because every autistic person is different. Just like I'm different, because just like the way we explained a few minutes ago with the ear muffs, I do not like ear muffs, and that's like different for me. That's different for me.
Yeah, and associating with your classmates and so forth. How was it?
Well, in Golden Rock, in Golden Rock, I like my classmates because I had my small friend group with 4 children. I think was 4 of them. One is in Holland right now. The other one is in Switzerland, and the other one's in Bonner. Those were like, but the main 3 that I had. Then afterwards, I went on to make friends with another person who was also on the spectrum. And then here's the craziest story. Back then, me and some other kid always had a bicker with each other. Like me and him always on our cases. Yeah. Like I did not like that boy at all. But then over the while, we started to like talk to each other. We started to realize, you know what, this whole thing is just shopping. Me and him would just decided to talk it out. Then afterwards, I mean, there's still times where we just argue still, but it's still in a friendly way. So then afterwards, I will consider the boy to become a friend. So
yeah.
Other than the like you say that you don't really like the earmuffs and stuff like that. What do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions people have with a person on spectrum?
With a person on spectrum, I would say that we're not smart. I'm saying that because they always think that he don't know this, or he don't know that. Like, I mean, yeah, there's certain stuff you don't know, but in other words, that doesn't mean you're dumb. That just means that you just like how you put it. It doesn't mean like you're dumb. It just means that
You have to develop it.
yeah.
Not sure if that's a word.
Yeah, developing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on with me right now. So.
I wanted to jump a little bit because I can remember I went to the Women's Day Gala. And watching you on the stage, introducing guests and throwing your little jokes in between, it really amazed me personally. What made you even want to do that?
I talked to my mother and I told her, Ma, you know what? If you can't find no one to do the MC for, then let me do it.
Wow, that's a big step.
Yeah, because it was the 10th anniversary of the Women's Day Gala, so it was going to be a big one. So I told my mom, Ma, you know what? Because I've been to the galas. I think I was in the first one when I was like really young. So I see how it goes. So I told my mom, like, why not you try to let me do it? Because at first she was a bit skeptical about it, but then afterwards she got to talk to the rest of the committee and asked them if it was okay to let me be the MC of it. So they talked it over and they realized, yeah, you what? I think we'll put this young fellow here as the MC. Then afterwards, the lady that didn't reply back, she finally replied and she said she wanted to do it. So I became a co-MC. Then she got some other girl to do it. So I was only able to do like two speeches. One for the Women of the Year and the one for the keynote speaker. Yeah. She was the keynote speaker was some Leah Marville. She was a girl from Barbados. She's what? She's a model and a lawyer. You see, I have to remember this, you know. I wrote it down. Then afterwards, I did those two speeches, and after those two speeches, those were the only two they talked about. They didn't talk about nothing else but myself, you know. Yeah. So you can see those two segments, I stole the show because that's the only thing people was talking about.
Yeah.
It was really good.
The only thing they are talking about because after it happened, that's all everybody was talking about it, and everyone was liking, but how come he didn't do the full show? The full show, and I tell him I'm wondering too.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a fun experience. So I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah. Really nice. When Jackie came home, he said, "Boy, Jurgen." He said he surprised me. I said, "What do you mean?" He said you was an MC. I said, "Wow." How did you build up the courage? Because it seems like as if you already had that the self-confidence in you to actually bring it up to your mother and say, I could be the MC.
Because I don't feel the pressure. That's why. You don't. I don't feel the pressure at all. It's like no, I don't feel the pressure. No chance. That's the exact same quote from Joseph Marino always said. I don't feel the pressure. That's why I always come up to the stage. I don't feel the pressure. I always be confident about myself. Anytime I go up on the stage, I just let loose. I just go with the flow. That's my main key of how I just be self-confident.
Wow. So that's instilling yourself.
If it's an instinct into myself, I don't know if that's something like my grandfather had or something, but it's instinct, instinct.
Yeah.
So because it really, really surprised because it you were like fast with it. Even at something that wasn't even, I don't know, things that I know that probably wasn't even written down on a script.
No, it wasn't.
Something happened, for example, a balloon burst. And automatically you just...
I think that's something, you see, that is comedian goal right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, I really think that if the football team don't work, I might start being a comedian. Because it clicked.
That's what I like so much about it. It was just like that. Just like that he was coming up with the stuff.
But that is a good thing that you bring up. That you say, of course I want the football to happen, but then you say you're thinking on actually doing comedy, more or less.
But that's I just saying that's something that just came up but the football thing is still there, because here's the story. Back then, my grandfather, Montek Pandt, he was a football player. He played for what do you call it? There was some team on Statia, they call it. It was they had the Pep Monks. But back then they always gonna call it the Pope Monks. But because the story was back then when I was younger, I used to play football. You know, I always used to dribble the ball around. And my father, he always used to encourage me to do it. But the thing was, back then during the 2014 World Cup, I think because my father was a huge Mexico fan, you know. He always gonna tell me, you do the chat, Mexico, la, Mexico, no. I was like, I got this boy. All right. So then I think when Mexico had to play Holland and the penalty shooter came out, I think they say that they were robbed or something, and my father came out drunk. He came out, he mashed up the car a little bit. Then afterwards, because back then my father, he always used to put pressure on me. Yo, do this, keyword, play football, because he didn't let me enjoy the love. He didn't let me smooth in it. He didn't let me enjoy the sport first. He always pushed me first, pushing me. He pushed me to the point where I didn't want to do it no more because I didn't want to do it no more. So basically, I think he had on his mind that I was going to become the next Lamine Yamal or something. Yeah. But then afterwards, I wanted to become a video game developer. But then after I graduated from primary, I went to secondary school. Again, that's where the dream died down because back then I was good at maths, you know. But then afterwards, I started to struggle in maths, so I like deciding that, you know what, I don't feel like this video game this will work out again, so I stopped doing that. Then afterwards, I had some crazy dream that of me becoming a WWE superstar. I was like,
what?
Because I used to watch it, you know, I love wrestling, so I still watch wrestling, but then the looking back at it, I was like, that's the wrestling might work out for me. Yeah, but then I wanted to play the football again, you know. I wanted to try it out again, but then afterwards I had some toe problems. I had an ingrown toe in my foot, and that problem lasted for like nearly a year or so. Because the doctors they always be operating it wrong. They one time they was able to take out the nail, but then it came back in, so it got so bad where my mother just decided to put her foot down and tell them to send me to a specialist. They sent me to a specialist, a Reuben surgeon, and he told me that they were doing it wrong. So they were like, they nearly gone and chop up my toe off completely. They were doing it wrong. So then the surgeon said that they had to go for the root. They didn't went for the root, so they did the procedure. Then they're like, I think a couple of weeks later, I was healed. So I was trying to do the football again, and it was rough at first. I was rusty when I first started, but then afterwards, I started to become better and better because the thing is, with my inspiration, my grandfather inspired me to play football. Because I knew that in my family there was a football player. So I wanted to carry on his legacy. I wanted to like play football in his name. I'll consider that his inspiration, and also my favorite footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo. I also consider him my inspiration because he always says, hard work without talent means nothing. That's his quote. He always saying you need to work hard. Even if you feel like you don't want to do it, just do it. Do what you have to do so you can make it on top. He did that, and you can see the amount of goals he have. He nearly 1,000 goals right now. I think he's aiming for it though. He's aiming for it. And then the third person I would consider an inspiration is Jamie Vardy, because he to me, him is never give up, because he never gave up on his goal, because he didn't reach pro until he was like 25 years of age. I'm 18. I'm 18 years of age. he didn't reach there. He didn't reach that level. I think it was like 25, 26.
Yeah.
But then you can see the hard work paid off, because when he went on to Leicester, he was able to win the league for them after just being promoted from the second division. So I was like, if he can do that, then I know I could do that too one day.
Yeah.
So that's why I will consider those guys inspiration to my footballing career.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
I have a question. Because you grew up, well, you was born in America.
US, yeah.
But then you say your favorite teacher is now in the Netherlands. Where do you ultimately want to go?
You see, the thing is, my original plan was to go up to the States to start my footballing career, but then once I went there, I realized that it wasn't a big thing up in the States. Then when I went up to the Holland for the first time, I realized there was like a bunch of football fields everywhere. And I realized that football was a big thing in Holland because people passionate for that sport. They ride or die for that sport. With the US, to me, US is pay to play, because if you want to go to the youth academy, you have to pay like a hell of a big salary or budget to just get into the youth academy. In Europe, you don't have to pay a thing for them. I think you just go there. You try your best, and they'll try to make a profit out of you.
Oh.
Exactly.
It sounds a bit like slavery right now, but I just say right now, they'll make a profit out of you, because depending how good you is, they'll try to sell you for like a higher budget. Because right now, cause back then the money for football, it wasn't that high, but now the money budget for football is like really high right now, because I think Neymar, the highest they got him from Barcelona to PSG was like 222 million euros. So that guy's been making that big money. So I want that lifestyle one time.
So then you would say that you prefer to actually go to
Holland, because to me, I feel like that if I start in Europe from now, then for sure in the long run I will become a better player. Like I'm not saying the US you can't become a good player in the US. I'm just saying that if you get the European experience from now, then over time the bigger clubs out there will want to try to sign you or so, because especially on Statia, because I suddenly realized they sending these children all over in the US, in these like western country parts like Idaho or Texas, Minnesota, and I look back then, I was like, but they setting up these children for like some type of failure, because they putting them in community colleges, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, if you want, like, because on Statia is like they big on basketball, because you told me that back then you wanted to be a basketball player, and it didn't work out as much. So then
it's true. It's true.
No, sorry, man.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
They don't. Wait, hold up. The basketball station is a big deal here, because as I realized, I know my cousin, he wanted to play basketball, but I always tell him, make sure you do your research if you want to become big, because even though the US is big on basketball, they send these children into like community colleges where scouts might not even find them, including for baseball, they send these children into like some random community college out there in like the countryside. But I just saying, they have to make sure they do the research, because if you want to do baseball, then go up Curacao or Dominican Republic, because I know that's where the Major League Scouts does go there. And especially for basketball too. If you really, really want to go up to the States, then try to work hard to get to like a university or so you can try to work hard to try to get to the level that you want to be, or maybe want a chance to make it to the NBA, because I know this children at Statia that really wants to go to the NBA, and I'm not saying they can't, they might, because Statia has talent. I'm just going to say Statia has talent. especially for football, these boys have talent. I'm just seeing it from now.
I can tell you did a lot of research too, because like you said, okay, you're 18. You might think like, okay, where your toenail, what happened? You think you would have been behind, but then you compare yourself to Jamie Voller,
Varley.
that he was 25, 26 when he became successful. So at least that you use that as an inspiration for yourself.
Exactly.
And I was saying, don't stop trying to aim big at once. Start step by step by step. So then over time, you can rep Statia on the big leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a nice word of inspiration there.
Yeah.
You say you wanted to become a game
Video game
Developer.
game developer. Why is that you decide to put it aside?
I mean, I would say because I struggle in math, but also because the second year school changed me a lot. So it changed me a lot. It not only changed me, it changed all my classmates as well. So that's probably why I decided, you know what, the dreams can change because to be honest, I always change up things because I know every single birthday I wanted a different team. There's one time I was into this, the next time into this, I'm into that, into this. I basically jumping. So
Yeah.
so I think it's that too, but it's also because the second year school was so bad, it basically demotivated me, but also demotivated some children as well.
Yeah. So you're kind of saying like, okay, sometimes the interest might be here, and then sometimes you go on
The interest
to something
on, yeah.
else. Yeah. Okay, that's understandable.
Like for example, with your with your mother, she put a lot into you to understand exactly the different things that she has to do. A lot of persons don't really understand autism, or maybe they're afraid to understand, or I don't even know how to put it.
Becoming more aware of it now.
Yeah, becoming more aware of it. What are things from your point of view that can be done in order to bring more awareness for autism?
Well, that's a good question, to be honest. I would say this. I would say that for autism, try to understand us. That's all I'm going to say. Even though there are some children that are really hard to understand, just try your best. That's all I'm going to say. Try your best. Don't be so quick to judge because you don't know how bad they have it. But mainly just try to understand. Just try to understand them. That's all I'm going to say. Understand them and try to be nice to them at least, because I know there's some of them that don't want to do that at all. But I'm just saying, just try your best to be nice to them.
Yeah. Taking it back to your MC, you take up the challenge, and you also say, I could understand that that's the reason too that you said, with your father pressuring you into football, you did say that you didn't feel no pressure, so that's why you end up taking up the role to do MCN.
Yeah.
At the same time too, you had humor with it. Isn't that? Do you think that's a misconception that people have that autistic persons might not have?
I mean, I can't answer that question because I really don't know the answer to that question because again, we're all different. With the humor thing, it just comes to me. I think that clicks in my brain. So like, I guess in that with the MC, it has come to me. I felt like that I wanted to do this. I felt like that since these are like big guests are coming in to do the Women's Day thing, I want to try to make a good impression on them, because I really want to try to prove to them that I can do this, that not all autistic people are like shy or something. I just want to prove to them that I have courage.
Yeah, nice. Well, I can tell like by the interview, the way you flow, you answering everything on the spot, and yeah, you're truly high functioning. Because if you're speaking to someone, okay, yes, the stuttering or you speaking fast, I can pick up that. But the way you carry the conversation and interact to and also add to it, I find like you're phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Intelligent. If you had to describe yourself, intelligent, inspiring, and strong. Can you explain why behind those?
I would say that because intelligence, because for sure, I was intelligent because it proved like how in the primary school I did become the valedictorian. I was intelligent. Then afterwards, after the secondary school, I felt like, I didn't feel that much of intelligence no more because like how the system changed up, it messed me up a little bit. I tried, but it's still that because after I did the CXC exams, I sadly failed it, but it didn't stop me because I realized something, just because results does not define who you are, that only God decides who you are. That's why after that day I started to realize, that the CXC exam, it's just an exam, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't gonna define what type of future I'm gonna have. Because I knew my mom when my grandfather passed away. She was unable to do her exams, but that's a different thing. She wasn't able to do her exams, and it didn't stop her from moving on with education because she did her GED, and then after she did her GED, she went on to get a master's degree. So then I think I got the intelligence from my mother. And sadly, the looks from my father. So, because I'm currently working on my GED right now.
Yeah.
By the time this video comes out, hopefully I'll be done with it because I'm on my last one.
Mm-hmm.
So then afterwards, my GED should be done, and then after that, I get my license because I'm also learning how to drive as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Then afterwards, I'm planning to move up Holland to start my footballing career because I'm training as of right now. And because I know for a fact that when I reach out here, the Dutchman don't play around, That's all. Dutchman don't play around at all.
How? Can you say you're trying to?
Yeah. No, he had to continue telling me about the other. He said intelligent. He spoke intelligent. Sorry. And now inspiration.
Oh yeah, inspiration. I say inspiration because I want to show like the people of Statia that they do have a chance to be seen because Statia is a small island. Half of the world don't even know that Statia even exists. That's how bad it be right now. So because you see other islands, the other islands are excelling in whatever they doing, and you see in Statia and you wonder, but Statia's falling behind in something. There's something missing on Statia that needs to be fixed. So that's why I want to try, because even though I'm an American citizen and soon I'll go play for Team USA, anytime I play in a club football, I also want to show them that even though I was born in the States, even though I got American citizenship, I want them to know that Statia is where I grew up in, and I know for a fact that once I get big and they probably come back, and probably them interviewers come back Statia, interview the people I know, the people on at least one of them guys go say on the interview, you're gonna I raised that boy, that's my son right there, that's my son, one for life. But again, so I just want to try to put Statia on the map, because Statia is being overseen too much. I want people to know that Statia do exist.
Yeah.
Statia exists.
Yeah.
I love that. I really love it. And strong.
Strong because I've been through enough trauma and enough bullying in my lifetime. My mother always tell me, make sure you pray, have God in, always have God first before anything else. I know my mother, she always used to tell me that because she always used to bring me up knowing that she always used to bring me up with God. That's for sure, because she always telling me stories when she was in the womb. She always used to sing to me. Then afterwards, when I was born, she always used to sing Christian songs. Then the strong part, because I realized that anything that comes my way, I just know I'm not gonna let that bother me. I'll always stay strong. I'll always stay faithful, and I'll always know that I have to be strong, not only for my mother but for myself.
Yeah, yeah, that is deep.
Yeah, it's deep because I know I gotta be strong because my mom had to be strong for me because when I was born, I wasn't born natural. You know, I was born during a C-section, so my mom always have that excuse. I didn't push you out. You know, I cut you open.
It's somewhat brutal.
More brutal. So you know, I have to be strong because I know in the outside world, no one else is going to care what's going to happen. That's why I always have to be strong because I know. When anytime I talk about football, I know that there's gonna be people out there saying that, but you know, Jurgen, there's other people that wants to become professional, or this, you know, that it's gonna be a really low chance for you to make it because I have people who told me this before, you know. Mm-hmm. But my mom always keep telling me, make sure you pray, make sure you keep God first because if you pray, He will answer your prayers. That's why I also have to be strong by that. I don't have to listen to what nobody else saying because me, I don't respond to that to negativity. You know, I just show them what I got. Like I always say, actions speak louder than the words. Yeah. That's what I always say.
Yeah. You mentioned your mother. How does it feel being raised by your mother?
I mean, in the first half of my childhood, I was mainly raised by my mother because even though my dad was there, to me, I didn't feel like that he was really there, you know, because he always used to go out. He always used to go out and party. To me, I felt a little distant from him because, and I say that for now, because back then, I always wanted to be close to my dad, but yet my father did not want to be close by me for some reason. Because I knew back then he always wanted a daughter because back then he wanted a daughter, he wanted to raise a girl. I came out a boy, so I don't know what happened to him, but then the first half of my childhood was mainly my mother. Then the second half was actually my mother because sadly my mother and my father, they got divorced and he left, so it was just my mother that had to raise me. So, and to be honest, I'm so grateful that my mother raised me, you know, because I actually felt like I had an actual father in my life. So that's why I'm always grateful that my mother's there for me.
In what ways has she supported you that you say, you know, you're really grateful for that?
I mean, she always supported me physically, emotionally. She basically supported me every step that I wanted to do. I told my mom that anything that I wanted to do, she said she go support it as long as you work hard for it, as long as you pray for it, that it'll happen. So that's why I'm always grateful for having my mom with me. So
you spoke about your mother. How do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
How do I see myself 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 18 right now, so like 18, 19, 20, 21, like hopefully by the age of 23, let's say 2025, this is 2030, hopefully I'm in a World Cup right now. Hopefully I'm in a World Cup right now. Hopefully I'm making, you never know, you never
exactly.
know. Hopefully I'm making big money, and hopefully I'm making my mom proud. Not only that, but hope I'm not only making my country proud, but I'm also hoping that I'm making Statia proud. I'm hoping that Statia is being put on a map from now, 5 years from now. I mean, so
nice.
When this all works out for you, what would you say is the first thing you would yourself want to purchase?
The first thing I want to purchase?
Yeah.
But I guess a house, you know. I would say like a big house. Depends where I play for, who I play for, and if the players want to play. That's how I want to think about, because the first thing that I want to purchase, I guess for sure, a Harley Davidson. Because my grandfather, Wait, hold on. My grandfather, he always had a Harley Davidson because back then in Statia, the people always say he go fast. He, especially on a Harley, the man driving one point to another fast. That I guessing that's where they just call my mom the race car lady, you know, because she always drive fast. That and also my uncle, because my uncle that drive really, really fast. So I guess in 5 years from now, hopefully, depending on where I'm at, I'm able to like to get a Harley Davidson to just cruise around it.
Yeah. I was just going to ask if you will be, no, you won't be here at all. Yeah, you won't be here.
I hope in for it. I hope.
Yeah. And what about family life to you?
Family life?
Yes.
Hey, a wise man was telling me, I am single, but yet you still feel like you're being cheated on. I am single, but yet you still feel like you're being cheated on because the most serious date I have right now is my date of birth. So that's a quote I'll never forget, because I don't know if I even able to pull a girl from this point. Cause I don't know how you was able to find love. I don't know how to find love.
You never know.
You try? You try?
Many times, man. You don't know the amount of heartbreaks I had.
Wow.
Wait, you're going to a place where there's a lot of fish.
I love fish, yes.
Yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, you really need to give me some advice right now, Give me some advice right now because I want to know.
But it's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
When the time is right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Jurgen, is there anything specifically you would like to leave for the listeners that listen to the podcast right now?
All right, guys, never give up. Always put God first. And no matter what anybody says, don't listen to any negativity they have. Because if you want to do something, you work hard for it, you push for hard for it, You make sure that if you want to be like a football player, if you want to be a basketball player, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do anything to rep where you came from, or especially on Statia, work hard for your goals because I want to see at least one of you guys put Statia on the map. I want to see that flag raised high. So I just hoping that one day Statia can actually be seen. That's all I'm going to say, and never give up. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow, Jurgen, thank you. This was a powerful interview. You even surpassed my
expectations.
Not that I had low expectations of you, but the way you carry the whole conversation, I'm really happy to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, bless you.
And I think it's very important for people to see.
Yeah,
I think people are gonna open the eyes a lot, and I'm glad that you open up about the different topics that we had discussions about.
Yeah, man, you did good though. You did good. we just so for like at least 2,000 views on this video, at least.
You hear that? So you make sure you share, subscribe,
like and follow,
so we could get to that 2,000. Yeah, so we're gonna get to it fast.
We aiming for like at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, at least.
For sure. That's a goal for sure. That's a goal for sure. So when we reach there, we're gonna play back this part of the video, so then you know that we make it.
At least when the video comes out 5 years from now, you'll probably be seeing me big somewhere. And if you wanna know if you wanna know who I'm at, just come back to this video. Just come back to this video.
Yeah, but of course, when you make it that big, we gotta do a follow up. We gotta do a part 2.
Yeah, we have part 2 now. 5 years from now.
Exactly.
Surpass the 1,000 subscribers for sure.
I want to thank everybody for watching this episode. It definitely was an enjoyable one, a very insightful one. Like I say here on the talk, jacket imagery, capture the moment, watch forever. See you guys in the next episode. Bless.